Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your valuable time with the Adapt 2030 channel. Black hole sun, Saudi Arabia, Aurora, Mammoth, California, Arizona, Missouri, all the way to Kentucky. This is the third time we've seen this in as many months. Frost and freeze warnings, Alabama, Mississippi, has 20 to 30 degree Fahrenheit below normal. Something coming ripping through April 29th, inland cyclonic spin, splits in the skies, undulating atmosphere, tornado in Myanmar, tracking the sulfur dioxide over the UK, Shibalushi eruption. Forecast model seems to follow that. Side by side, red blob, blue blob, one equals the other. Train derailments, bridge failures, only 2 weeks. Now it's time to hold on for that ride. Everything is starting to dissolve and reform into something else. The changes are here. We're going to have to move through them with a different vibration. In a less than 30-second video to sum up the state of our world, still held together, barely functional, should be shut down, needs to start over. Imagine all of these things that we're hearing in everyday talk across the news that's so prevalent that it covers and smothers every single news feed is all the exact same of how it's changing, how it's changed, what's coming next, exactly step by step by step, what you can expect. Unless we all say no, and then it doesn't. But there are signs in the skies. Saudi Arabia, this is some strange anomaly in the skies. I'm not going to call it a cloud, but I've never seen anything like this, never seen any videos like it. I've asked a lot of people, do you know this phenomenon? And it is unexplainable. This is a direct reference of a black hole sun. Now, what is that that's blocking the light that slipped in front of it should be more the question. What type of atmospheric anomaly is this to allow that same symbol to form that has been time immemorial for the last 8,000 years recognizable? And at the same time in Istanbul, cloud or something, an anomaly blew over the city for a full 5 minutes in the middle of the day and turned it dark like this. And then, as quickly as the darkness came, it was gone. This is also a very spooky event. What is it with the atmosphere? We're looking at the sun, KP7. Definitely aurora all around the planet in the northern hemisphere on that, even southern hemisphere. Start you off in Kentucky, of all places, red and purple aurora in Kentucky. Okay, Illinois, and I think they even caught the tail end of the meteor shower there. Nice one. Same meteor shower, different location, Missouri. Arizona, no stranger to lights in the skies. And here's from Mammoth, California. Look at the intensity, and I'm wondering if it's finding some sort of conduit through the crust right there at that plate. Now, these different colors that you see, these reds and pinks and going on almost to whites, high energy, very high energy. And remember, these same aurora was seen down in Florida just 3 weeks ago. Collagen may do more than simply help turn back the clock on how your skin looks. The latest research suggests it may also assist with building muscle and losing fat when combined with exercise. This is why I highly recommend trying it out for yourself. It uses a groundbreaking formula that combines 5 critically important types of collagen into one easy-to-mix scoop. The amazing mixture I use is sourced from grass-fed, pasture-raised cattle, cage-free chickens, and sustainable fisheries. Users of this non-GMO, gluten-free, hormone-free protein powder rave about how it's improved their skin and how their joints feel, while also helping their weight management goals. The best part is it's tasteless and odorless, which means it goes down with your favorite drinks and recipes. Visit healthwithadapt2030.com. That's healthwithadapt2030.com. Click on that link in the description box below and take 51% off my favorite collagen. And remember, anytime you do use that link to purchase anything, you're going to receive free VIP health and coaching for life, as well as a new report. 14 foods to keep your skin looking healthy and young. That's healthwithadapt2030.com. And now on with the video. Now, if we look post-Hunga Tonga eruption, what's happening with the atmosphere? This could explain it. Total rainfall or precipitable water in the atmosphere. Remember, the Hunga Tonga eruption in the Tonga Islands, January 2022, pushed an additional 10% of all water into the atmosphere. We now have 110% thanks to that oceanic eruption. Now, what's the difference? Look at the equatorial bands, South America, Africa, right side, March 2023. Look how much thicker everything is, how much more water vapor there is in the atmosphere that's actually fallen on the ground as rainfall. So this total rainfall would also be a direct indicator of cloud increase as well. Directly across the belt right on the equator, much more rainfall coming down, even in the oceans. Indonesia, definitely more. Off of Australia, north and west. Indian Ocean, Indian Basin, right near India filling in, but you know where it's getting really dry. Look above China and Mongolia. That whole area there is drying out, while other places nearer the equator are becoming much wetter. And speaking of volcanoes, Shivalush a few weeks ago, sulfur dioxide. Newest 50,000 foot eruption, Sangay in Ecuador. Another large one, that's 3 in 2 weeks above 50,000 feet. So let's check in on the sulfur dioxide concentrations, how it's moving around the planet. Far west, Kamchatka, that's the origination point of the eruption, April 10th and 11th, and it's swirled through our atmosphere. And as it does, it's going to get pulled into the polar easterlies at the North Pole. So this ash and sulfur dioxide should make a northward trek as it's getting looped through the cloud cell to the North Pole. And as we see it, it is starting to trend that direction. But I follow your eyes over to where you see the UK, England there, down into France, Scotland, Ireland, that blob of dark red sulfur dioxide concentrations near the edge of the chart. Notice the location and how that tail swings back toward Iceland. And as it moves about 12 hours further, you can see it progress directly over Iceland, straight into Germany. And then if we look at the same days that you're seeing the sulfur dioxide over the same exact locations, look beyond England up to Iceland. What do you see? Very cleanly, the drop like a step off in temperature gradients, in addition to the same areas that, well, look a little more blue on the right chart. Tropical tidbits. Now you can track the sulfur dioxide and see the direct effect it will have in real time on ground surface. How will this affect agriculture is a good guess, but we'll know shortly. Clouds splitting, what is it with A, straight lines in nature, but B, the optical illusions that are happening across the planet with clouds, cloud tops, jumping, dancing, strobe lightning. It's quite the sight to behold, especially if you were to see something like this after the storm. This is in New Hampshire. Imagine driving down the road and witnessing this. I would be pulled over on the side taking photos. But again, that's just me. Looking at temperature anomalies also just a day ago. April 23rd, Texas, all the way central, cooler than normal. With that light pink is 20 degrees Celsius, about 28 degrees Fahrenheit, cooler. So don't plant yet. Hang loose. There's another cold front coming in, so hold off on your planting, at least until May, so you could have a better chance at making sure those crops, vegetables, whatever it is you're growing, stay alive. And out here in East Tennessee, temperature's been lower than normal, especially at night. Freeze warnings all the way down in Mississippi, Alabama, East Tennessee. So I say, hold off a minute, because look at the freeze warnings. We're going to dive in a little closer on the chart here, East Tennessee. But those freeze and frost warnings, that's all through ag country here in East Tennessee. And lining up on the 29th, what is that cyclonic spin in the center of the U.S.? Going right over some of the most productive grain production in the United States. 30 degrees below normal Fahrenheit. And I know it's just a spackling of stories over the last few days showing a trend of extremes increasing. Now, the question to ask would be, how much will this affect food production? Now, you and me with our gardens would be something different than agribiz, where machines are taking care of larger swaths of grains that go through storms routinely every year. But it does seem that things are in an amplification phase. Everywhere you look, in every level or every nook and cranny of our world, something is in an amplification phase. Is it all based on this first? And that's the reason for everything else happening behind it. And strange one here, Myanmar, Naypyidaw, tornado. That is so rare. That's like saying blizzard in Oman. Those two never go together. Same with tornado in Myanmar. Here it is from the distance. That previous shot was as it was going through the village. And a few people got some snapshots as it approached and ripped apart a huge amount of a small edge of what you consider neighborhoods. There's Naypyidaw for you on the map. Remember, I used to buy coffee down here in Myanmar, and that is how I got my start in the Adapt 2030 channel. Used to buy over here from Pin Oluin. Beautiful country and well worth a visit. And what goes along with tropical countries? Rice. But this is now a rice shortage global. So imagine adding in all these other things happening along with the ozone depletion event in the southern hemisphere. Disruptions of fertilizer and farm inputs because of what's happening across Europe. So here goes the next multiplier in terms of everything is running away at light speed. Throw a global food shortage into it, and then what happens? And with different Earth anomalies and electromagnetic effects, our crust is behaving strangely. These auroras are something to behold, but what is allowing all of that energy in? Magnetic field weakening. So I'm starting to look in the future in a little bit different way, looking backwards from the future. A lot of people would look and say, all right, well, how far are we into the time when we're not going to be able to get anything any longer, whatever it is, good, service, base product, commodity, anything. I'm kind of going from there backward to see how much longer before you really can't live without it and plan accordingly. Like, at what point do you think that thing is not going to be functional and you can't live without it? Then you can prioritize that first versus going the other way. Gee, how much longer is it going to last? Versus it's rolling back this way and I can't live without that thing, so I better prepare for replacing it off of a centralized system or a complex system right now. Your list would be much smaller than preparing for everything. I don't know, maybe there's some method to the madness. We're in a vibrational change here. The frequency pattern of our solar system, of our star, is changing along with the magnetic field of the planet and the Earth. So how much more do you think we go through before the pattern stabilizes into its new frequency? Here's 3 choices, but you better hold on because we are going to experience something, the raw power of nature ourselves, as 2 worlds separate before our very eyes. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030 3-month emergency food supply. You can supplement that into what you grow or what you can buy elsewhere right now. And as we all know, planting season's here. TrueLeafMarket.com. Heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. Those links are in the description box below. Great way to support the channel. See you next time. Bye for now.